Welcome friends, and we will continue with our efforts in developing writing skills. So, we have already done long essays, we have already done lots of academic essays. Today we will talk about creative or imaginative essays. The topic covers, and that I am going to give you today, that covers imaginative essays, offbeat prompts and topics that demand a high level of creative thinking and imagination. So, you should remember that creative writing tasks are not very common as standalone questions, but they are offered among the 4 to 5 options given for a standard essay writing task. These tasks are aimed at testing your imaginative power and skills, on the spot thinking and risk taking abilities. Of course, most importantly your vocabulary and your ability to use certain phrases in more elegant way. Since you do not need to have brushed upon any facts for this essay, the examiner will evaluate you on the basis of your imaginative skills. There are a very few people who attempt the creative writing essay. So, it will always give you an added advantage because not many are taking that. So, perhaps you can consider that as well. However, you need to perform very well so that you can stand out and be given the deserving marks to proceed with the next round of your exam. Creative writing tasks are different from the standard essay type of questions in the sense that the topics are often vague, they are not very clear cut or concise. They can even appear to be funny, but they are always thought provoking. For example, New Year's resolutions in the month of May. Even a question like New Year resolutions, not many people can imagine such kind of a question appearing for a competitive exams, but occasionally they may appear and you can really take a shot at those, because if you have good abilities to write such kind of an exam, or if only I were maybe an astronaut, an actor, a famous actor, the president of your country, something like that. It is up to you to interpret the topic in any way that appeals to you, and in return explain and make a point to the examiner. Okay, and it may take you, you have to stick to the word limit, of course. Remember that all this requires a lot of imagination. You need to be funny, but not disrespectful, always be thought provoking, and that thought provoking enough to convince the examiner of your writing skills. You do not need to write facts and arguments in your favor as in a conventional essay, but you will need to develop your thoughts in such a way that the essay is entertaining to read and indicative of your writing skills. Before you pick a creative prompt, think about the topic and come up with some ideas. Usually imaginative essays start with a hypothetical situation, asking how you would respond to it. Come up with a few different ways you might respond and how you think the situation would turn out depending on your responses. Pick the idea you like best and write it. Write what you would do, how other characters would react and how the situation would end up. Make your responses witty, interesting and entertaining. Creative writing prompts will also demand a personal touch to your essay. Write from experience or give examples from your experience. Make additions that appeal to your personality. This will ensure that your essay carries a sense of yourself. Do not be afraid to pick this prompt. That is what I insist on, that do not be scared just because it looks imaginative. If you feel you have the language, take it. Very few exam takers pick such exam because this kind of an essay topic, because they think that they may end up making a fool of themselves, but do not get nervous about these things. It is the way you express which is more important. Look at this particular slide. Let us look at the topics. Pick one woman in history or fiction to converse with for an hour and explain your choice. What would you talk about? So, just notice you have to pick any woman, select any woman from history or fiction, not a man. And what would you talk about? What's so odd about odd numbers? What matters to you and why? Winston Churchill believed a joke is a very serious thing. Tell us your favorite joke and try to explain the joke without ruining it. Begin your essay with the phrase, one fine morning. If you could relive a day of the past, which day would you choose and why? If you could uninvent one thing in the world, what would it be and why? New Year's resolutions in the month of May. So, these are some prompts for creative writing tasks. Let us move on to another slide. Begin your essay with the phrase, the blue pajamas were hanging at the Red Fort. What next? Write a first person account of one day in the life of a shoe. You are a scientist who has just discovered a new planet. In 1 year, people will be coming to live on it. What will your planet be like? What will you name your planet? Write a paragraph describing this new planet. Begin your essay with the phrase, never have I ever. If you were forced to spend the rest of your life in a library, a museum or a zoo, which would you prefer or choose and why? Begin your essay with the phrase, I woke up to find myself transformed into a, and you can really go into something, transformed into maybe a rhinoceros or a giant mosquito. Do you want a rewind button or a pause button for your life? Explain with reasons. Now, let us look at the question, new year resolutions in the month of May. What would you write? You have to think about the prompt. Remember, new year resolution in the month of May. It is evident that when you choose such an essay to write, your writing should be laced with quirky and fascinating anecdotes. Your writing should hence be funny and inquisitive rather than analytical or descriptive. You have to write down some ideas that you feel can be developed into good writing as and when you go along. For instance, your personal experience about how you can never stick to your resolutions for an entire year. So, you decide to take them up only mid-year in May. You can also say that maybe your semester or year or begins or ends in May. So, you can plan for new year resolutions as opposed to January, and perhaps you forgot to take or make any resolutions in January. So, May it is. Do not spend too much time in the actual test taking situation thinking about ideas. Remember that you usually get 30 minutes for such a task. So, you need to start writing as soon as possible, so that you can spend some time to proofread and edit your essay in the end. As soon as you have some clarity on what idea can flesh out well and suit your writing style best, you can go ahead and start writing your essay. You could even bank on something totally out of the box. For instance, May sounds like the bleating of a goat. So, maybe your essay could be about goats. Of course, that sounds a little far-fetched from the essay topic, but could you try linking this to the prompt in a way that captures the imagination of the examiner? Let me show you this introduction. Take a look at this. Take a look at the slide. Considering that my resolutions at the onset of the year had proved to be futile to say the least, I decided to take a few the soonest I realized my desperate failure, and if I may, in May, my brain had always been a bit cuckoo on taking worthwhile resolutions. So, I decided to blatantly link the sound of May to what I wanted to do in life. Whenever somebody says May, my mind whirls around a spiral of goat thoughts, considering very brainlessly how May sounds. I could have gone for a no mutton policy, but that was too mainstream and I was vegetarian anyway. So, I had to intelligently come up with a resolution that had something to do with goats and nothing to do with eating them. Now, see, this is an out of box kind of interpretation, difficult, it comes with practice. So, you can in the rest of the essay, you can bring about resolutions that have something to do with goats. Some of the ideas could be, think of funny causes of goats that you can address. A good element of humorous imagination is necessary to write a creative essay, and if that happens to be your strength, your forte, you should never shy away from attempting anything creative. Remember that. So, do not go off track. Since you have zeroed in your premise, going off a tangential route will make the writing more obscure and difficult to follow. Take a look at this slide. This is your essay checklist. Make sure that your essay corresponds and responds to the topic argument in a creative, thoughtful and imaginative manner. Make sure that it is written creatively with humor and thought provoking critique. Ideas are innovative and different, written in a comprehensive and clear fashion. Transitions are such that they help connect the ideas together in an organized fashion. Your essay demonstrates out of the box thinking and creative capacities, demonstrates proficiency, fluency and maturity in its use of sentence structure, vocabulary and idioms. Written elements of the language such as grammar, spelling, punctuations are adhered to strictly with excellent command. Look at this line, an interesting hook. This is the essay framework. So, first one, an interesting hook and topic in the introductory paragraph. You should be able to creatively introduce paragraph setting, paragraph, and which can set the tone or which should set the tone for the rest of the essay. Body paragraph 1, 2, 3, each in 3 to 4 sentences. Concluding paragraph with a recap, conclusion of the topic, expansion of the position and a humorous and thought provoking finish. Remember, do not bring in humor when it is not needed. Okay, so you can't talk about assault on women in cities and then bring a humorous touch. Every essay topic has its own character and tone. So, do not the suggestion or the advice that I can give you is not to tamper with the tone. Second example, write a first person account of one day in the life of a shoe. Now, what would you do here? Firstly, you think of the prompt. This is a direct prompt as it specifies exactly what you are supposed to do. You have to imagine yourself as a shoe. You can be more vividly imaginative in this essay as it involves a detailed first person account. My life as a rupee, my life as the new 500 rupee note, something like that, or my life as an old 1000 rupee note. So, all these things are very interesting and can be perhaps they can feature in one of your exams. So, for essay type of this for essays this type, you have to think of some interesting ideas you can include in detailing your life in the form of an object, inanimate object. When you talk about my life as a shoe, perhaps you can say talk about, is it fun or is it a negative experience? Is it fun being a shoe? Maybe being a shoe gives you your own perspective on what people do on the road all the time, your inconveniences, your joys, your pleasures, and if you are annoyed, then what do you do and how do you react, perhaps like giving a shoe bite to the feet. As I have already told you, when it comes to such kinds of essays, you do not have to spend too much time thinking about the ideas. As soon as you have some clarity in your mind, you can flesh out this kind of essay. One way to start this kind of an essay, imagining your life as a shoe, you can say that while being a shoe might seem like a job much beyond everyone's dignity, because it is a shoe after all, it is not a cap, it is a shoe. So, I would like to tell you something interesting about how people behave in public, and then you can talk about public behavior. Now, this is a fairly straightforward introduction, and it immediately gives the examiner a sense of what you are trying to accomplish through a creative essay. Once you have written your introduction, your body paragraphs will quickly come and follow each other, one after other. So, coming back to the main question, what does an examiner look for when you attempt a creative writing task? See, they expect good language, humor, creativity, some kind of an instinct to do things differently, offbeat writing style, eye for detail, and of course, personal experiences and insights. In a standard essay, the examiner looks for facts and statistics and arguments. All these we have looked at earlier, right? Coherent writing style, adherence to a regular structure, logical capacity, arriving at a theory through facts. But in a creative writing, you can really have a lot of fun and entertainment with what you are doing. So, choose your essay type writing question well. If this is your forte, this is your strength, then please go for it. Thank you very much, and we will continue with the next topic in our next class.